I live in Israel. I studied in Israeli college and served in Israeli military and worked in Israel. But then I decided that being an office manager, this is not interesting for me. I studied the law, first of all, law.
That's your first career?
Yes.
You're a lawyer?
Yes, yes. But I didn't work as a lawyer.
I know.
It was very boring. It was very boring.
You decided on another path?
Yes, yes. Then I studied economy and business administration.
Wow.
But I worked a little bit in a bank, but I decided this is too much boring, even more boring than to be a lawyer. So I decided to be a travel blogger.
Travel blogger?
Yes. And I started to travel the globe, like many people today, with my camera. It was 20 years ago, so without YouTube, without Facebook, without Instagram. There were some websites, and like in English, in Russian, in different languages. So I just published my impressions, my photos, still without videos. I really enjoyed my life.
So at the point you were basically knowing the different cultures around the world?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. So my first trip was to Egypt, because I lived in Israel, and Egypt was a neighbor country. And part of my military service, I just served in Egyptian border. So I could see Egyptian soldiers on the other side of the border fence. So I always dreamed to go to this country and to visit and to see pyramids and different sites around the country. So I traveled to Egypt. I really enjoyed my trip. And then I took a really long trip to South America for half a year.
Wow.
Almost half a year I traveled in South America.
Which countries do you visit?
Almost all of the countries except of Venezuela.
Except Venezuela?
Except Venezuela.
Why?
Because I think because of the criminal situation.
Yeah.
It was a very dangerous country, like today. So for some reason I decided not to go to Venezuela. So all of the South America except of Venezuela.
Okay, you visited Colombia?
Yes.
Colombia, yes. Chile, Argentina?
Chile, Argentina, Paraguay, even Suriname.
Suriname, okay.
Yeah, and French Guyana. Guyana or Guyana?
Guyana.
The two countries, yes. This was my lifestyle for almost 20 years, 15 years actually. So in December 2016, I remember this day, 15th of December 2016, I was arrested in the Republic of Belarus. Belarus is actually small ex-Soviet republic, ruled by a dictator, Alexander Lukashenko, a biggest ally of Russia, who took a part in aggression against Ukraine. But then, I always kept away from the politics.
But why they arrested you?
Oh, this is a good question. Because in 2011, I visited disputed Nagorno-Karabakh. This is a small...
Yeah, there's a small territory.
Yeah, small...
Next to Azerbaijan, or it's within...
It's between Armenia and Azerbaijan, two ex-Soviet republics. This is really small area, self-governed area, where about 150,000 Christian Armenians lived before. Today, they were expelled from this territory by the Azerbaijani government. So, before the collapse of the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. So before the collapse of the Soviet Union, it was like all the same country. Today we have like 15 independent countries of where belongs to Soviet Union, ex-Soviet Union. During the Soviet times, we didn't have borders like between Nicaragua and Costa Rica or something. We didn't have borders, so we can just travel like in European Union or United States of the United States, all the same. But after the Soviet Union collapsed, everything is changed. So administrative borders became like international borders. During the Soviet times, Joseph Stalin, like a horrible dictator like Hitler, he decided, for some reason, he decided to move administrative borders of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is a Muslim republic, for 95% Muslim republic, and Armenia is Christian. Orthodox Christian. So for some reason, Stalin decided to move the border, and so 150,000 Christian Armenians became like a part of Azerbaijan, of Muslim Azerbaijan. But still, again, during the Soviet times, it didn't make sense. So you can live in any place, but still you speak Russian, you live under communism, and Secretary General of Communist Party is in Moscow. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union, everything has changed. So Armenian became the small Christian minority in the Muslim Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan started the war against Armenians just to expel them from the country. Just ethnic cleansing against Armenians. But Armenians were able somehow, in support of the Republic of Armenia, to win this war. It was kind of guerrilla war, to win this war and to establish a really small republic they called Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh Republic, in Armenian language Artsakh. In Russian it's called Nagorno-Karabakh. Actually, I don't like this Russian name, because this Russian name consists of two words. Nagorno means mountains, but Karabakh is in Azerbaijani language. Karabakh is called Black Garden. Mountain Black Garden, in two languages, different languages. So I like the original name, Artsakh. So this republic actually existed for 30 years.
Wow.
For 30 years. Really small. It's like...
How many people live there?
150,000.
100?
Yes.
Very small.
Very, very small. But still, they have their own army, and pretty strong, with support of Republic of Armenia. And it was kind of independent country. So when you enter this country, you receive stamps, like everything, like normal country. But Azerbaijanis, of course, they insisted that this territory belongs to them. Because during the Soviet times, during the Stalin times, it was really part of Republic of Azerbaijan, Soviet Republic of Azerbaijan. And not a single country of the world recognized the independence of Artsakh. Even Armenia, they were actually somehow afraid to recognize the independence, not to, you know, to establish some international scandal. It's more or less like in Israel. So when what we say, West Bank, is this Palestinian or Israeli? The same issue was in Armenia. So if they could call Artsakh as Armenian territory, it was kind against the decisions of the United Nations.
But they're fighting, you know, they're fighting or not?
So, at least politically, it was independent country, not a part of Armenia. But still, it's the same nation, same religion, and support from the Republic of Armenia. But 4 years ago, in September 2020, so Azerbaijan started the war against Republic of Artsakh, and within 44 days, Azerbaijan was able to occupy all of the territory of, almost all of the territory of Artsakh. But still, this is very small. So all of the territory of Artsakh was 10,000 square kilometers, you know, all of the territory. So Azerbaijan occupied like 90% of this territory. So some guerrilla fighters were still in the mountains, but most it was occupied. So Russian army decided to come back to this region, because after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Soviet army, Soviet troops were, you know, were removed from most of the Soviet republics, except of Belarus. So today we have Russian army in Belarus, a little bit in Armenia, and in Tajikistan, and one more Soviet republic. That's it. All the rest of the countries actually expelled Russian soldiers. So Russians decided to use this opportunity to come back to ex-Soviet republics.
To occupy?
Basically, they call for this, you know, peaceful mission. Peaceful mission, yes. Peacekeepers, they can say. So under pretext of peace mission, so thousands of Russian soldiers returned to this territory. But unfortunately, they stayed there for 3 years. And then war with Ukraine started. So actually, Russia started the war against Ukraine. I remember Putin said it's going to take like 3 days to occupy all of Ukraine. Ukraine actually a big country. It's the biggest in Europe. But Putin was sure he was able to occupy like in 3 days. Today we have like almost 3 years of this war.
It didn't happen.
Yes, it didn't happen. So all the military and financial forces of Russia were gone to Ukrainian front. So as for Nagorno-Karabakh, Russians took most of the soldiers to Ukraine. And then Azerbaijan started one more war to occupy the rest of the small part of Artsakh that's still under Armenian control. And it took like 3 days to occupy all of Nagorno-Karabakh of Artsakh. And the next step was to expel all the Christian population from Artsakh to Armenia. So today, Republic of Artsakh doesn't exist. There is no even a single Christian in this area, not a single Christian. So Azerbaijan destroyed most of the churches, most of the Christian cemeteries. So there are a lot of videos in YouTube you can find when Azerbaijani soldiers say just Allahu Akbar and destroy like Armenian graves with crosses. This is really horrible. And today, 150,000 Armenian Christians became refugees. Most of them refugees in Armenia, because Armenia is basically the same nation. Not exactly the same. We cannot say that Costa Ricans and Panamanians the same nation. Not exactly, but more or less. Same language, same religion, more or less. But Armenia is a poor country. Basically, unfortunately, it is a third world country. They're not able to support a lot of refugees. So most of them already left to Russia, to Georgia, who was able to receive Schengen visa. They traveled to Europe, etc., etc. This is like a basement for my story.
Yeah.
Basement for my story.
That's key for us to understand all those things. But for Costa Ricans, it's so far away. I mean,
of course,
it's not our reality. It's not our reality, yeah.
Of course, it's more or less like for the people from the ex-Soviet Union who asked me, where are you now? I said, in Costa Rica. Costa Rica, is it in Spain?
No.
I said, no. Yes.
It's a different, but that's important to explain that.
More or less the same, so I can understand it. So in 2011, as I mentioned, I'm a travel blogger. So what I told you about Artsakh, this is like political background, but they have nothing to do with politics.
And that's important to understand that you have visited more than 157 countries.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So one of the places, just one of the places I visited, it was like this unrecognized Republic of Nagorno-Karabakh. Right. But still, I visited many like strange places, like Afghanistan, like Somalia, like different strange places in the world.
And we're going to talk about your experience in Nicaragua later on.
Yes.
But go on.
Yeah. So I visited this area, Nagorno-Karabakh. I always confuse Nagorno-Karabakh or Artsakh. So I spent like maybe 2 days. I rented a car in Republic of Armenia because the only way to visit Nagorno-Karabakh, Artsakh once again, it's from the territory of Armenia. Because there are like just two borders, with Azerbaijan and Armenia. From the Azerbaijani side, it was like firmly closed. It was like a closed military zone. So the only way to travel to Artsakh is from territory of Armenia.
Okay.
That's it.
And by car?
By car or by bus.
By bus,
yeah.
Okay.
So there is no other option. I intentionally explain why, because it's very important for the later what happened with me. So based on the Azerbaijani law, you are not allowed to visit Republic of Artsakh because they consider this territory of like a territory of Republic of Azerbaijan occupied by Armenian rebels, so-called rebels. I don't think they're rebels. They're really peaceful people. But there is no other option to visit this area but from Armenia. So Azerbaijan can prohibit anything. But if you want to travel, you're a journalist, you want to travel to this beautiful mountains area, to see beautiful churches, to meet these people, the only way is from Armenia.
Okay.
That's it. So I'm exactly like hundreds of thousands of tourists who visited Artsakh. I was one of them who visited this area. I was not just the one who visited Artsakh. Many people visited this area. So after my visit, 5 years passed. So I continued my normal life. I traveled to South Africa, to Australia, like in different places of the world. And then, in 15th of December 2016, I was suddenly arrested.
Wow.
In the Republic of Belarus.
In Belarus?
Yes, I just crossed. It's more or less the same like with Nicaragua. I didn't have any intention to stay in Belarus because I had to take train from Baltic states, Republic of Lithuania, from Baltic states to Moscow. There's a train. And this train crosses through Belarusian territory. That's it. I didn't want to stay in Belarus. But when I crossed to Belarus, I was arrested. And Belarusian police told me, "You arrested in request of Republic of Azerbaijan." I said, "What?" Because it was amazing. I'm not citizen of the Republic of Azerbaijan. I have nothing to do with Azerbaijan. I said, no way, how come? I've been to Azerbaijan one time in my life, like maybe 10 years before, for a week, that's it. They said, still. So police explained me, based on the request from the Republic of Azerbaijan, you illegally crossed to Azerbaijani territory and visited occupied Nagorno-Karabakh. I couldn't believe this. Because
But it was many years ago. I mean, how many years? Did you visit that territory for the first time? What was it?
In 2011.
2011?
Yes.
So what, they are arresting you?
So 5 years passed since my visit. I couldn't believe this. I said, no way, guys. I said, you're Belarusians. What you have to do with like Karabakh? I don't believe it. They said, look, you're under arrest. That's it. I was taken to prison.
Wow.
Horrible Soviet prison, like in the movies.
How was that?
It was a small cell, maybe 20 square meters, without windows, and between 30 and 40 people inside.
14 people?
Like really small. It's like half of your studio.
Wow.
Half, even not half, even less than half of. So part of the people were just lying on the ground because not enough beds. No air to breathe because people smoke.
And no food.
No, food was very bad.
Okay.
Really very, very bad. So when I entered inside, it reminded me American movies, Hollywood movies, like Sylvester Stallone or something about the jails. But I'm really peaceful man. I never, never broke any law in any country. So when I entered inside, I could see a lot of different people with different criminal tattoos. But still, the biggest trouble was not with them, not with the criminals, but with the government. So I could communicate with local criminals. They were okay. And part of the criminals were actually from South America. It was one guy from Colombia.
I don't believe it. I can believe it. Why?
One guy from Colombia, one guy from Japan, one from France, and one from Nigeria in Africa. So I stayed in a corner of the cell with foreigners. And we called for this foreigners corner.
Okay.
It was me, Colombian guy from France, Japanese, and a black guy from Nigeria. So all of them actually very nice, including this guy from Colombia who were somehow linked to drug cartels or something.
Probably.
But this is not my business. Actually, we supported each other, all of us. And I spent 2 months in this jail. So my lawyers tried to prevent my extradition to Azerbaijan.
2 months?
2 months I spent. It was just the beginning. 2 months. And then, but this is dictatorship. Belarus is dictatorship, like Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Cuba. This is dictatorship. There is no democracy. And then we have a small television in our cell. And I remember this day I was sleeping, because we were sleeping one by one. So, for example, there are not enough beds. So we have like between 30 and 40 people and maybe 15 beds. So if you want to sleep, for example, you sleep from noon till, I don't know, from 8, and then my turn to sleep, and then we change all the time. So I was sleeping. And I remember somebody told me, Alexander. I said, what? I'm sleeping. What's going on? He said, look on the television. President of Belarus is talking about you. I said, wow, no way. And there's a press conference. It was a press conference of President of Lukashenko of Belarus. And he really spoke about me. I couldn't believe this. So one of journalists asked him, it was like online.
Yeah.
Asked him of what's going on with Alexander Lapshin. A journalist was arrested. He nowadays in a prison in Belarus, and he was about to be extradited to Azerbaijan because of his visit to disputed Nagorno-Karabakh. And then president of the country, he said, oh, Lapshin's still here? I told you, where is my Minister of Internal Affairs? And then one general just, I said, yes. I said, I told you, send him to Azerbaijan, but in a quiet way. I told you. I don't want such a question from journalists. You can find it in the YouTube. This is unbelievable. So this Minister of Internal Affairs of the Republic of Belarus said, Mr. President, but he applied to the High Court. I don't care about High Court. I'm the president here. Send him to Azerbaijan.
Dictator.
Yes, exactly. You can find it even in English, in the translation. And I was in jail. I was listening to this. And the rest of the Belarusian and Russian prisoners, real serious prisoners, they told me, man, be strong. You're personal enemy of the president, be strong.
Wow.
So, because I expected to be released. And then President told, just in front of the cameras, send him to Azerbaijan. So I said to myself, wow, I finished. And on the same day, I believe, yeah, on the same day, a police entered the cell, and they said, we are going to the airport. We are flying to Azerbaijan. I said, but guys, but tomorrow is a judgment in the High Court of Republic of Belarus. So they said, look, President said, so we can do nothing. I was taken to the airport, and a personal president of Azerbaijan jet, his personal jet, was waiting for me in the airport. So it's what like
I think I watched that video.
Yes.
When you came in.
Yes.
I saw that video.
I was handcuffed. Yes.
I saw that video.
Yes.
That was the plane of the president?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Of
I couldn't
Azerbaijan.
believe this. I could set such a planes in the movies.
Right.
I don't know why, actually, because normally when police extradite so-called criminals, they use like normal flight. So just send few policemen, that's it. So special jet for somebody, this is really something special.
But are they treating you, or they were treating you as a criminal?
Yes. Yeah.
Why? You just visited the country.
Because they said, officially, you illegally crossed the border based on the law of the Republic of Azerbaijan. And I was accused, except of that, I was accused by Azerbaijani government that I called his president dictator. Yes, in my publications, I said, President of Azerbaijan is
you
dictator.
wrote it. I mean,
yes, I published on Facebook. So what? So what? For example, here in Costa Rica, you can say, oh, okay, I think the president of Costa Rica something. So what? No one cares about this. But in Azerbaijan, and I believe in Nicaragua and like Cuba, this is different. So I said, so what? I really think the president of Azerbaijan is dictator. So what? This is my personal opinion. So what? So I was taken to Azerbaijan. And I remember some few really funny moments during the flight. There were like 4 or 5 Azerbaijani gunmen with the masks, with machine guns.
I saw them.
Yes. I was handcuffed like this.
Yeah.
I felt really like, who is the biggest drug dealer here in South America?
Escobar?
Escobar or something.
Yeah.
I felt like...
I mean, they kill him, but Escobar was the most famous.
Yes, I was written like Escobar.
Okay.
Because I'm just a travel blogger.
Right.
So I remember a flight took about between 4 and 5 hours. Because the direct route from the Republic of Belarus to Azerbaijan is maybe 2 hours flight, not too long. But over the Russian territory. But Russian government refused this plane to fly over Russian airspace because of political reason. Yeah. So they had to go around. It took almost 5 hours. Why I'm talking about this? I urgently wanted to go to the sanitario, to restroom, because before the flight I spent like few hours in the police car. I told them, guys, I want to go to the restroom. They said, wait. You'll go to the flight. During the flight, you will go to the toilet. I said, guys, so for now, it's like almost 10 hours. I can't go to peace. I want to go to the toilet. They said, you can't. I said, guys, I cannot wait, really. This is urgently. And then something really funny happened. They took me to the toilet. It was really brilliant toilet. Really, like in the movies. Everything is golden made. The president's like personal jet. I entered inside, and they said, and I'm standing like this. They said, go on. I said, but I can't. I said, but I can't, guys. Could you assist me? I said, could you take off my handcuff? They said, no, you're not allowed. But I said, how can I? So they assist me with their hands.
I know, I can't believe it.
This was really, it was a horrible comedy, horrible comedy. I didn't feel good with this. I said, guys, be careful, please. And then when we finished, I told them, guys, you're real professional. I feel it. They said, what do you mean? They were soldiers from special forces. What do you mean? I said, you need to change your profession. And then they told me, "Motherfucker, we will kill you. This is not funny, blah, blah, blah. It was a really stupid joke on my side. So when we landed in capital city of Baku, capital of Azerbaijan, there were hundreds of local pro-government journalists who were just filming my appearance from the jet. It was one more funny moment. It was a very short stairs from to go down.
And you were talking with one of the guys that.
Yes. So all of the guys, all the soldiers, just wanted to appear in the news. So all of them just started to go, and one of them actually and fell down with a machine gun. So then one of the Azerbaijani officials, they said, let's start from the beginning, because everything was filmed. This is not good, because one soldier actually fell down.
So you have to repeat it?
Yes. So all of us...
Like a movie?
Yes, like a movie. We returned to the jet. Jet started to move once again. We made a circle once again. And, then I went once again out of the plane to make good video without this incident. And then it was really like a stupid comedy. I couldn't believe, because I'm not Escobar.
But that's the reason you were laughing with the guy, with the soldier.
Yes.
At that time, because I watched the video.
Yes, because this guy actually who assisted me in the restroom.
Of course.
Of course. Now we're good friends.
Close friends.
Yes, close friends. Then I was taken to the prison, where I spent 7 more months. 7 more. So 2 months in Belarus before the extradition, plus 7 months in a jail in Azerbaijan. But in Azerbaijan, I was in a solitary confinement. I was alone. So from the beginning, I felt really good to be alone, because when the cell is full of people, this is not comfortable. No privacy. You cannot go to the restroom without somebody looking at you. This is not comfortable. And then some of the people were sick with some diseases, because there is no medicine in a jail. And here I was alone. But still, it was really small cell, 3 meters on 3 meters, really small, without windows, without television. And for about 2 months, I didn't have even newspapers or books. And I couldn't figure out what time it is. This is really important, because when you just sleep, and you wake up in the morning, this is the morning now. You just look at your watch, okay, 8 a.m., okay. And you need to go to work, for example, some meetings. And here, this is different. So you sleep, you wake up, and because there is no windows, and you have a light 24 hours per day, a lamp.
Like this?
Yeah, like this. Exactly, more or less like this. So you ask yourself, is it morning, or maybe in the middle of the night, or daytime? You have no idea. You have no idea. So I started to figure out when they brought me porridge. Porridge means morning, breakfast. Like kind of soup. I called for this water soup, because it was more like water, with small pieces of cabbages and potatoes, really small pieces, water soup. And in the evening, I received 2 options, mashed potatoes or porridge once again. That's it. The same for 7 months. So this way, for example, when I was sleeping, I wake up and they bring me porridge, which means now 7 o'clock in the morning. But then, in order to break my psychological situation, they tried to cheat me. So, for example, I wake up and they bring me soup. I ask myself, wow, so this is lunch? But why I'm sleeping in the middle of the day? But actually, this was morning. And after like a few weeks of such a kind of torture, because I called for this really torture.
Yeah.
This is not a joke, this is torture. I start to feel really bad physically and psychologically because I'm sleeping. They wake me up and they said, there's the lunch. And so for all of the day, I felt very sleepy. I wanted to sleep. I was tired.
Yeah, you were losing your sense.
Yes, I lost myself. So you have not other option, but you start to think about different strange things like suicide.
Wow.
And I was thinking
You have
about
those sentiments?
you know, because of psychological pressure, and you have any contacts with outside world, so I didn't know what's going on. And when I was taken to interrogations by the prosecutors and the police, they told me, no one care about you, there are no any publications in the media in support of you, and your family doesn't care about you. Of course they lied, but they couldn't check it. So when you don't have your cell phone for 9 months in a total, you go crazy. They can tell you everything. And what can you do? To believe this or not? So they told me that we think that you're a spy. I said, spy of what country? They said, Armenian spy. I'm Armenian spy? I have nothing to do with Armenia. I visited Armenia one time in my life for like a few days, and that's it. You can call me Paraguayan spy or Australian spy. They said, look, they said, you have to plead guilty that you're a spy. First of all, you're a spy. The second point, you have to say in the judgment, in the court, that you consider Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan. I said, so what? I can tell Brazil is Azerbaijan or Australia is Azerbaijan. I'm just a travel blogger. I'm not a politician. I'm not, then it was Barack Obama. I'm not Barack Obama or something. They said still. It was pictures of President Ilham Aliyev, dictator of Azerbaijan, and his father, ex-president. So interrogator said, this is because of them. So if you say what we told you, you will be okay.
So they were pushing you to say that you are a spy. You were a spy.
And asked them, what if I'm not going to plead guilty because I'm not guilty?
And you're not a spy.
I'm not a spy. So it was a bottle of water, mineral water, on the table. So one of the policemen, he said, do you know what it is? I said, yes, that is the bottle of mineral water. And they said, if you put this bottle inside US, what do you think about that? I said, guys, what are you talking about? They said, look, you have to plead guilty. And in order to prove that they're not joking, they said, do you know what we do here in this jail with the people who are not Muslims, with Christians or different other? I said, no idea, because I'm alone in my cell. And they brought some guy. He was Russian speaking, maybe from Russia or maybe from Belarus or something. He was Russian, I mean Christian. One of the prisoners. And he brought him and asked him, explain to Mr. Lapshin what can happen with the people who just to confront with the government. So he said, I'm a prostitute here. So they use my body for homosexual relations. So it was crazy. So they said, okay, go away. So they asked me, so are you ready to plead guilty or not? I said, okay, because I'm not Rambo. I'm not Rambo. I'm not Universal Soldiers. I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. I'm just a normal guy. I said, look, I don't want to die here. I don't want to be raped in this prison, horrible prison. I said, okay. But for some reason, I don't know why, maybe because of my psychological situation, I was really destroyed, morally, psychologically, and physically. And I was sick. I lost 3 teeth because of bad food. I have some problems with my stomach. I couldn't sleep normally. I believe they put something in my food.
Probably.
Because all the time, I just wanted to sleep. So now we're talking for about half an hour normally. But then, after about a few minutes of talking, I started, like under influence of drugs or something. So, for some reason, I was taken to the court. there were 11 judgments, actually, 11 times I was taken to the court. 11 times. Each time 5 minutes. So they take me to the court with hundreds of journalists, local journalists, and 3 judges under the portraits of presidents. So they asked me, are you ready to plead guilty? So I said, yes, okay, I'm guilty. In what exactly you are guilty? I said, no idea. And final judgment, for some reason, I decided not to plead guilty. I don't know why. I'm not a hero. Well, once again, I'm not a hero. I'm a normal guy, like all of us. But maybe because I didn't sleep well, I felt bad. So I said to myself, okay, I will die here. It doesn't matter, I will die. So I said, I'm not going to plead guilty. I'm not guilty. I don't care about the status of Azerbaijan, of Nagorno-Karabakh. I'm not a spy. I'm just a simple guy who ended up in this dictatorship. That's it. So I said this just in front of all the cameras. They were sure for 100% that I was going to plead guilty. And they brought hundreds of journalists. So I said, no, I'm not guilty. You can kill me, but I'm not guilty.
2 years
That's
ago.
it. Few days later, I was taken once again to the prison.
To the prison.
My Azerbaijani lawyer, it was a government lawyer actually, he came to me and told me, this is a big mistake. Because our president watched this judgment just in the television, and he's very angry. This is very bad what you did. I said, look, I'm ready to die. What can I do? A few days later, I was assaulted by 4 masked men in my cell. I was sleeping. It was in the middle of the night. I remember I was sleeping, and the door was like 1 meter from my head. And I remember every night somebody from the guard, from the police, were just entering my door, entering inside, just to check if I'm still alive. So just put the finger. I said, what? Ah, you're alive? Okay. So it was normal. So, and this time, more or less the same. So I remember some noise. Somebody tried to open the door with the key. I said, okay, they're just going to check if I'm still alive. But they came to kill me this time. So I remember, because
that was your thought
yes,
at the time.
Yes. So, and then something was different. First of all, every time somebody, just one guy entered my cell every day. But this time, I remember, I've heard like many people just entered and they're talking between them in Azerbaijani language. I don't speak Azerbaijani language. I just turned and I could see 4 guys in the mask, like balaclava mask with the holes here, like special forces. And it took like a few seconds. One of them just jumped on me and started to strangle me with the fingers like that. And I was sleeping, I could do nothing. So they kept my hands and my legs, so I just was lying in the bed like this, and one of them started to strangle me with the fingers. And then they put pillow or something on my face, just to make me die. So I believe after maybe 15, 20 seconds, I lost my consciousness. And I was sure I am dying. That's it. You can do nothing. 4 strong guys, and I'm lying in the bed. But probably I was lucky. I opened my eyes, my one eye, because the second eye was a huge hematoma here. I couldn't feel my left part of my body, and I was lying in a hospital. So I could see doctors around me and lights, like in the studio. And I have intubation tube here, artificial intubation.
So you lost your consciousness?
Yes.
And then when you wake up,
yes,
you were at the hospital?
4 days passed.
4 days?
4 days.
Were in coma?
But 4 days I was in the intensive care unit of the hospital, 4 days. But I didn't know. I didn't know. So I was looking around. I could see doctors. I could see Israeli ambassador. And I tried to talk, but I couldn't because of this tube, artificial breath. I couldn't. I had different injections here and here. And Israeli ambassador, she told me, you're okay, don't worry. Don't try to talk. Everything is okay. We're going to take you to Israel. Because President of Azerbaijan decided to pardon you, and you will go to Israel. And then I spent a few more days in the hospital. But the worst thing was that my jaw was broken. broken teeth, so my teeth just implants nowadays here. Broken hand, broken fingers, a huge hematoma here, so I couldn't see with my left eyes. Today is okay. But the worst point that I didn't feel left part of my body, like a stroke. Like a stroke. So I couldn't feel, I didn't understand why, so I couldn't move my hand and leg, so I couldn't walk. I remember I tried to ask the doctor, but I almost couldn't speak because of the broken jaw. I have some metal construction here, so I couldn't speak. I could write with my right hand. So I asked, what's going on with the left part of my body? And they told me that I tried to commit suicide, and police saved your life. I said, no, they tried to kill me. I didn't commit suicide. So the Israeli ambassador, she told me, shh, please keep low profile. She said, after you come back to Israel, you will go to journalists, you can talk. Nowadays, let's say thank you so much to Mr. President.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel left part of my body because it was a brain injury. It took like half a year to recover. Now, for 99%, I'm okay. I feel a little bit less feelings here in the fingers, little bit, but it's really nothing. That's it. So when I was able to come back, I applied to the European Court of Human Rights against the Republic of Azerbaijan, and after 2 years, they were found guilty in illegal arrest because any journalistic visit to any region of the world cannot be considered as a crime. And torture and attempted murder. So I was awarded with the compensation, but they refused to pay the compensation.
Yeah, I saw that. I read it.
They refused to pay. I didn't receive even $1, just nothing. And then I applied to Committee of Human Rights of the United Nations. Once again, Azerbaijan was found guilty, the same illegal arrest, torture, attempted murder. I was awarded with compensation. They refused to pay. But at least I feel kind of, I won the struggle. I feel so. Okay, I didn't receive money, but this is not because of money. This is principal position of journalist. Unfortunately, the Azerbaijani government didn't stop to prosecute me. They issued one more warrant for my arrest. You know why? Because when I won the judgment in European Court in the United Nations, so they, as a president, felt offended. I think so. This is my own opinion. He felt offended because he lost the struggle. A president of the country against little journalist, little guy from different country. I don't care about Azerbaijan at all. So at least twice they tried to attempt on my life after I was released from the jail. One time, I remember December 2020 or 2021, I was invited to Republic of Latvia, this is European Union, to take a part in a conference organized by the government of Republic of Latvia. And when I landed in Latvia, in the capital city airport, I was taken aside by the police. They told me, look, our advice is not to stay here in our country because based on our information, it's going to be an attempt on your life here by the criminal gangs associated with the Azerbaijani government.
They have been trying to kill you.
Yes. So the local police, they told me our advice not to stay here. I had a flight from London. They said, go back to England, not to stay here. But I said, look, this is my principal position. You're a police, guys. I said, you're a police. You must protect me.
Right.
What we're talking about here? I was invited by your government to take a part in the conference. They said, we know everything, but still we don't want to take a risk. I said, no, I'm going to stay here. So they tried somehow to prevent my entrance to the country. They said, look, we're trying to talk to you in a friendly way. They said, please, go back to London, to England, please. Otherwise, we will have to deny your entry to our republic because you are not citizen of Republic of Latvia. We will find some reasons not to send you back. But they said, we don't want to go through conflict or something. I said, no way. I have return ticket, I have hotel reservation, I have cash. You cannot deport me from here. And I will go to the media if you do so. Because I'm good guy. I'm a good guy, not them. You have to protect me. They said, okay. So I entered the country, but they took me to special hotel, not my hotel, but different hotel, under guard of the police. They said, you will stay in a hotel for the time of the conference, and then we will take you to the airport, you will fly to Israel.
How many days did you spend there?
3 days. I couldn't leave hotel room. I was just, it was 5-star hotel, but I felt like in a jail, because I couldn't go out. They took my cell phone, took my laptop, they took everything. I was just lying in the bed and watching TV. And I have 4 meals per day, okay. And I have jacuzzi.
Like a prison.
It was like a prison. It was good conditions.
Yeah.
President's prison.
With a bed.
Yes, yes. And the second time they tried to, once again, attempt on my life. So my father in Russia and my mother is in Israel. So my father was sick with oncology. Today he's passed away. So I wanted to fly to Russia. I didn't visit Russia for many years. Okay, I immigrated from Soviet Union, but still, so my Russian story is finished. So they have the only one link with Russia because of my late father. He had a 4th stage of oncology. So I had to fly to Russia to just to see him, to say goodbye or something. That's really bad period of my life. But unfortunately, there is a huge Azerbaijani Muslim diaspora in Russia. And I receive a lot of threats from Azerbaijani criminals in Russia. And in my town called Yekaterinburg. This is my town where I was born.
Is it Moscow or?
No, it's Siberia.
Siberia.
Yes, in Siberia. Wow. Yes, it's 2,000, almost 3,000 kilometers from Moscow. It's a big city, 2 million people. I was ready to fly. I booked my tickets. And then something strange happened. I received a message from one of the Russian journalists who I met personally a few years before. His name was the same, Alexander, like me. And he told me, are you going to visit Russia? I said, yes, I'm going to visit my father in a hospital. He said, oh, perfect. We're going to meet. I will take you to some interviews with Russian media. And here's the important point to mention. Russian media, all of the Russian media are pro-government.
Yeah, of course.
And Russia is dictatorship.
Yeah.
So there is no such interviews like ours. So if you invite to government TV channel, this comes from the government, not from some independent journalist. It was strange, because I know the political situation in Russia. I told to him, how come? So the main channel of Russian TV invited me. How come? Because I criticized Putin. It's unbelievable. So no, that's okay. Come here. You
Sounds
know me.
weird.
Yes, too sweet to be true.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I was lucky once again. I was ready to go to Russia. I received a message from few Russian officers, ex-officers of Russian KGB, who were my subscribers in my Facebook. They told me, first of all, they told me, do you communicate with journalists? His name is Alexander. I said, yes. How do you know? They said, we know everything.
Of course.
They said, be careful. Because this guy received money in order to bring you to Russia, and then you will be kidnapped by Azerbaijani criminals and killed. That's it.
That's the plan. That was the plan.
It was the plan. So I called to my father. I told him, Father, I have 2 options. I really want to see you, but this is very dangerous. So my father told me, look, regardless if you come here or not, I'm going to die, regardless. But if you come here, he will die too. So my grandchildren will stay without father. So he said, but let me die in peace. Don't come here. We can talk through Skype or
how difficult for you.
WhatsApp, of course.
Yeah.
So that's it. So I decided not to go there. And basically, this is my story for today. And one more interesting point. 2 weeks ago, I was in Mexico City.
Yeah, I know.
Mexico City, yes. And I was invited for an interview to a local Mexican channel called Quadratin.
Yeah.
Quadratin. It was really good interview, good journalists, good guys. They couldn't expect that ambassador of Azerbaijan in Mexico will see this interview will comment on this interview. So they called, Azerbaijani ambassador called to this channel, and he was very angry. He said, "No way, this guy is criminal. Why did you allow him to come to your studio?" So I talked with the journalist from Quadratin. They said, "We're amazed that somebody from Azerbaijan, here he said, Mexico, this is our country. He called to our studio. He said, I will punish you." That was really unbelievable. I said, guys, that's exactly what he told in the interview. This is dictatorship, horrible dictatorship, like Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba.
Yeah.
And then came my story with Nicaragua.
No, but we need to make a pause here.
Yes.
Vamos a ir a unos comerciales. Seguimos hablando con Alexander Lapshin. Nos va a contar de su historia en Nicaragua, pero este es un historión que no nos imaginábamos todo lo que nos podía contar Alexander. Así que volvemos, hacemos una pausa, venimos con esta parte final de Íntimo.
En la historia de Costa Rica, nunca hemos visto nada igual.
Este año la gala de Miss Universe Costa Rica promete ser inolvidable.
Con la presencia de la actual Miss Universe 2024.
El icónico zar de la belleza, Osmel Sousa.
Y nuestro jurado de honor, Shanice Palacios, Miss Universo 2023.
Vos podés ser parte de esta noche
histórica.
Entradas ya a la venta por Publitickets.
Seguimos aquí en Íntimo con Alexander Lapshin. That's a big story. That's an amazing story. I mean, horrible story. But you're alive.
Yeah.
What happened in Nicaragua?
So, as I mentioned, I visited 157 countries of the world. There are just 2 places in the world where I had issues.
Yeah.
One of them is Azerbaijan, as I already mentioned. And I'm not a citizen of Azerbaijan. I have nothing to do with Azerbaijan. And the second is Nicaragua. I have nothing to do with Nicaragua. This is too much far away from my country. It's more like for a Costa Rican guy, like Zimbabwe or some, Vietnam. This is too far away. I took the bus from Tegucigalpa, Honduras, to San Jose, Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. Like Tika bus, normal Tika bus, like all of the tourists. Really.
That's a commercial, no? The worst.
Yes. Okay.
The worst.
You can just.
You took Tika bus.
Especially, I didn't enjoy this company. Once again, so I took the bus from Tegucigalpa, Nicaragua, to San Jose, Costa Rica, like normal tourist bus. So in the border between Honduras and Nicaragua, me and my family were taken away from the bus. And there were 2 tourists from Czech Republic, and I think 1 from Canada, 1 or 2 from Canada. So basically, all of the foreigners who are not locals, not from Central America, were taken away. Europeans and Canadians and us were taken away. On the Nicaraguan side, not on Honduras. Honduras, no problems. And they checked our passports. They checked every stamp, every visa in the passport. And Nicaraguan police, they said, okay, wait here. We're going to check something. I said, okay. So we're waiting for 3 hours. During 3 hours, a few Nicaraguan police, actually not police, I believe kind of a KGB agent or something, because it wasn't any uniform. There was pistols, but without uniform. I believe some, intelligence or something. But they didn't speak English at all. It was very difficult to communicate with them, so we used Google Translate. So this guy told something in Spanish and then showed me, read. It was really funny. It was amazing. So, of course, in small villages, if you don't speak English, it's not a big deal. So you live in Central America and don't know English. But if you work in the international border and you every day on a daily basis, you ask questions from foreigners, you have to learn English a little bit, not with Google Translate. So they asked me and all the rest of the people a lot of questions. For example, where did you study? I said, Haifa University. where is Haifa University? So you can Google Haifa, the city in Israel. But what does it make sense? Where I studied, I'm going by transit to Costa Rica. I said, did you serve in Israeli military? I said, yes, 3 years.
In Israel?
Yes. So he asked me, did you commit crimes against Palestinians? Wow. I said, what?
Nothing to do.
So what? I served in the army 25 years ago. I'm too old for now. And then I remembered some news about Nicaragua, that Nicaragua broke relations with Israel last year because of some Gaza issues. And they supported Hamas and supported Iran or something. And together with Venezuela and Cuba.
And Russia.
And Russia. So I said, wow, I don't believe this. So he said, can I see your cell phone? I said, no. Because why? Because this is my cell phone. He said, but I want to check your contacts in WhatsApp. I said, no way, because this is my contacts. I'm under arrest or something. So, but finally, I said, okay, if you want, but this is in Russian and Hebrew. Do you speak Hebrew? He said, no. I said, how are you going to read this? And some messages, voice messages in Hebrew. Okay, you can just push it, blah, 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 shalom, blah, blah. I said, what language is it? I said, Hebrew. I said, but I don't speak Hebrew. I said, I'm sorry that you don't speak Hebrew. And then he told me, look, we're searching on Google, you're a journalist. And he made is the finger, you're a journalist.
They don't like journalists at all.
I said, so what? Okay, so what? I said, you're Nicaraguan. So is this a joke or something? I'm going to Costa Rica. So he said, you're a journalist and you publish different things about what's happening in the world. I said, yes, because this is my job. He asked, are you going to publish something about Mr. Ortega? And basically, I didn't remember who is Mr. Ortega. So it was a picture,
photo,
a picture, but he asked me, do you know this guy? I said, this is Mr. Ortega. He said, no, this is Augusto Sandino. I said, okay, who is Augusto Sandino? I said, okay, what's before Ortega? I said, okay, so what? I'm going to Costa Rica. I don't care about both of them. So he said, okay, wait. And after about 5 minutes, he got out and said, look, we're going to take you to the city of Esteli. I said, no. I said, I don't need Esteli. I need to go to Managua and then to... He said, no. He said, no. He said in Spanish, and I could read it. He said, no, you didn't understand. I'm not going to ask you if you want to go to Esteli.
You have to go.
You have to go. We will take you by car.
Wow.
To figure out who are you. Because they said, I believe you're a spy or something. It was a big language problem. Problem with communication. So I was saying in Spanish and translating to English. But translation was bad. So I couldn't understand most of the things. And then it was very moment. So I remember my experience with Azerbaijan and Belarus. So I said to myself, in case they will be able to take me to Esteli, I believe this is kind of small city in Esteli or something, believe to jail or something, a police station, I can die there. Because if the Azerbaijani or Belarusians will know that I'm arrested in Nicaragua, they will pay a lot of cash to local Nicaraguan police just to kill me. Just to kill me. And no one will find my body. Because this is dictatorship, Nicaragua. And probably, I was thinking to myself, maybe they received some request for my arrest here in Nicaragua. Maybe, I don't know. Because I could hear they spoke Spanish, and they mentioned my name, and they mentioned Belarus. I could hear Belarus and my name. This was enough. So I said to myself, I have to do something. Because otherwise, I will die here. And I worried about my family. And it was the very moment somebody called him to his cell phone. And he said, he started to talk with somebody. And he kept our passport in his left hand. And for some reason, he just put passport on the table and turned to me with the back. So I just grabbed the passport and I said, run away to Honduras, to my family. It was really like in the movies. Honduras was very close.
Yes.
Really close, it's maybe 20 steps. And we have
the border, it was on the border?
Yes, exactly. It was maybe 20, maybe maximum 50 meters from the border, very close. So we have to run maybe for 10 seconds. So I was able to grab passports and one of the backpacks. We had 3 backpacks, so I was able to grab one backpack with laptop, with everything, and I left the rest of backpacks with our clothes in Nicaragua.
Really?
I couldn't take it because we didn't have time. So this man tried to grab me in the hand. So I said, So we were able to run to Honduras.
So you escaped?
Yes. It was like maybe 10 seconds.
Wow.
And the Honduran police, they were like, they didn't understand what's going on. Because they could see Nicaraguan police running after me that were already crossed the border inside Honduras. So Honduran soldiers, they stopped them, they said, no, this is Honduras here. But I was afraid the Honduran police will send me back to Nicaragua.
No, but...
So once again, it was a problem with the language. So we spoke with Honduran police with Google Translate. So I told them, look, I'm a journalist. They tried to arrest me or something. I didn't know what's going on. So please, let me go to Tegucigalpa. If you send me back to Nicaragua, I will die. It's going to be a huge scandal. I told Honduran police, I already sent the message to Israeli ambassador in Tegucigalpa. So please, let me go back. So the chief of immigration or police or something of Honduras, and he walked to Nicaraguan side and he talked with this guy from Nicaraguan KGB. And he returned, he said, they want you back to Nicaragua and they want to take you to city Esteli. I said, no way, I'm not going to Nicaragua. So Nicaraguans called somewhere, they said, we need to consult with our chief immigration officer in Tegucigalpa. And then they said, okay, you're welcome back to Honduras. You can go to Tegucigalpa. This was really horrible.
Yeah.
I tried, I said to Honduran police, could you please ask your colleagues in Nicaragua to bring back our backpacks? They said goodbye to your bags. Okay, that's going to be the tip to Nicaraguan police, my dirty clothes. So this is my story. So nowadays I landed here in Costa Rica. And I feel really good weather.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
That's good to hear. And probably you will have a different story here in Costa Rica, hopefully.
I'm sure. Costa Rica is not Nicaragua. It's absolutely different.
For now, welcome to Costa Rica.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your stay here and
you.
your family as well. So thank you for sharing with us that story. The only word that I wanted to tell you is freedom. What's the first thought that you come out?
Of course. The most important thing in our life is freedom.
Yeah.
So I didn't ever think about that. I could understand it in the prison. Yeah. When you lost your freedom, you lost your family, you lost everything.
Everything, yes.
You lost your life. So the freedom is the best.
Thank you very much for being here, and it was a great story.
Thank you.
Gracias a todos y pues síganos siempre miércoles a las 5 de la tarde con repetición a las 10 de la noche en íntimo y también los domingos a las 8 de la noche. Nos vemos, que la pasen bonito.